there are phases in a company, and the amount of founders that really is able to bring that company across all these phases, that's all. The unicorn story, those are really the unique stories.
Hi, welcome.
This is Tech Leap's All In. In 7 episodes, we explore the personal entrepreneurial journey of scale-up founders and leaders. In this episode, we get personal. How to stay sane while scaling your business. First question for you is, to what extent are you your work?
I'm probably 110%.
Yes?
Yeah.
Why? What makes you so
I have there's no line for me between work and personal. It's the same.
Swap is, I think, a large part of my identity because I started at a very young age together with my co-founders. I mean, we were 22 and 7 years later, it's like a quarter of my life.
I am my work and my work is me. Why?
I honestly think it's a gift. I can't imagine being an accountant and having to go to work and turn up for work. Just do the thing so that I can make sure that I get home on time to do what I really would like to do.
I have a strong opinion about food. I like discussing about with my family. I even visit suppliers with my kids. It's part of my personal life.
I think I'm 100% my work, or myself at least. I don't have a hidden agenda, I'm just being my own self.
Do you have hobbies?
I'm going to say no.
Because you don't.
What is the difference between the you that started your company and the you now?
Well, more gray hairs and wrinkles.
My heart rate.
Oh, I don't think that is such a big difference, actually. No, that's not such a big difference.
So the me that started the company was more of like, I can do everything. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this.
I think the biggest difference, if you'd ask my family, I'm less patient. That's true.
Whereas now it's more of like, you decide where your energy goes through brainstorming and road mapping, and then having that kind of these creative sessions with your close colleagues, and then kind of, I don't know. So your strategy to work changes in terms of you don't just pour all your energy into everything. You kind of decide where to focus on and what to build.
I think when I started, it was really partly ambition as well. I really said, okay, I want to get this done, and now I think I also really enjoy the journey, and I enjoy the day to day.
In the beginning, I didn't thought I was an entrepreneur, and now I think I am an entrepreneur. So that is what I think changed over time, that you get much more certain in that sense, much more, let's say, confident that you can create your own future, or at least a large part of it.
So I'm a trusting person, I've learned. And in the CEO role, you also have to be a little bit, I don't know, suspicious, and sometimes, if you understand what I mean. And so it's trust but verify. And I'm not very good on the verify bit.
I mean, honestly, WeTransfer in the beginning was just a shot in the dark. So what we were doing back in 2010 was 20 other things as well as WeTransfer. And I thought we could do all of them. We had a gallery, we had another app called Cover, we had a film production company. We had, I could do anything and everything, and have 2 young kids and be on a plane, every week. I mean, it was so dumb.
I wish I would have figured out the person who I always was supposed to be a bit sooner, so to say.
Why?
Would have made my life a lot easier.
And who is that person who you were meant to be?
I was quite impressed with the world always. And I think if I would had the guts to sort of pack up my things and start my entrepreneurial journey 20 years ago, I think looking back now, I would do that.
And is the founder always suitable as the CEO?
No, in our case, definitely. I think we are the living example.
No.
And why not?
Because it's such a difficult job.
For our case, I mean, this is still my first job. For us, it was critical to get the experience on board in order to make not too many mistakes along the way.
If I look at myself, I could imagine that at some point, when we are in production and it's sort of more going concern and it's more corporate to a certain extent, that at some point I will say, well, maybe this is not for me anymore.
Are you scared for that day?
No, not at all, not at all.
There are phases in a company, and the amount of founders that really is able to bring that company across all these phases, that's all. Had the unicorn story, those are really the unique stories.
There's such a high failure rate for people to get something off the ground, to bring it to level 3 or 4. It requires a totally different personality to then take it to a company of 200 people or 300 people or 500 million revenue, whatever it is. It's a totally different thing. You're not even talking about the same thing anymore.
And yes, the romantic story is that from scratch you built this super successful tech company.
And then you're Bill Gates.
Yeah.
So you need to wear so many different hats in order to make it work. It really is a very unique individual that can do it. And I have to be frank and say that many of those individuals I don't think are particularly pleasant individuals. You have to be somewhat, dictatorial, dominant, narcissistic in order to just keep pushing for what you think makes sense and making it work.
Would you hire yourself?
That's a tough one. I think I'd say no, but that's more because I think I've always had this more. It's not there yet. It's not good enough yet. But I think I've been told by people that's what they call imposter syndrome, because it's never perfect or never good enough.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
For my own position, definitely yes. Yeah.
I would make myself go through at least 10 interviews.
Why?
Just to be sure.
And would you be sure after 10 interviews?
It depends what I'd be hired for.
For your current job?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it.
Yes, I would hire myself. Absolutely. I think if you hire me, you have an amazing time and you have someone that really knows how to unlock the potential within people. I think that's where I stand out. So my 21-year-old self wouldn't have said that.
No, I like it now.
But my 43-year-old now does.
Perfect. And how do you combine managing your business and maintaining a private life?
Yeah, that's sometimes challenging.
For me, it was a hard reality to say no to a lot of things. It's not possible to have the best social life.
My friends also complain sometimes. That is, so it's work and family. And then I know that, I have these friends that I really need to cherish, but that is something that I need to deliberately do.
It's definitely a challenge. So the week we signed our first investment agreement was the week my youngest daughter was born.
What a perfect timing.
So I always call it, I have a startup and a scale-up at home. The startup is the youngest and the scale-up is my now teenager.
You gain a few pounds and you miss out on certain cool stuff that's happening in your city, but yeah, it's just not possible to. Everyone has 24 hours in a day.
When was the last time you wanted to just run away and leave it all behind? I actually have that quite often.
Sometimes I do have moments where I think, okay, I really need a holiday, but not with the intent of never coming back.
It always comes down so that it's you have short-term negative thoughts in terms of like, I could run away, but never actually serious thoughts.
So six months ago, where I realized, okay, we now have a lot of money on the bank. That was nice. We've made some good progress, but the morale is low. Corona had obviously taken its toll, and I hadn't realized that enough. And we lost some people. There was a moment where I really say, okay, we need to do a couple of things.
This morning?
Why?
No, I'm kidding. Not this morning, but I mean, yeah, I would say at least once a year.
Well, to be honest, was this weekend.
Yeah? And why usually?
because it just gets too much. You question, is it worth it?
Like we went away with the family and the kids, then you really like, oh wow, this is something I enjoy a lot. I wish it would last longer.
But I didn't want to run away because I think it's still my company, right? So even more than I was like, okay, now I have to lean in.
That's not in me. I've never had a moment that I wanted to run away. That it simply doesn't exist in my book.
So that was like a moment that we together, wow, this is life, this quality of life. And let's try to enjoy it a little bit longer. But we didn't, because I'm here now.
Here you are. Yeah.
Yes.
Investors cannot build companies. Only founders can build companies, and investors can only screw up.